Hi, this is Sharna with Seek Spark Shine, and today I'd like to share with you a brief guided meditation for self-love. Loving the self is at the cornerstone of any healing work that we might do. The closer that we can get to loving and accepting the self in our complete fullness, the easier it is for us to shine a light on what needs healing. It also allows us to be brighter, to feel happier, and to be more at ease in situations as we move through the world. So I hope that you enjoy this. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. Bright blessings. So starting by connecting in with the breath and the breathing, feeling into the gentle rise and fall of the belly and chest. And as you breathe in, breathing in a sense of calm and relaxation. As you exhale, releasing out anything you no longer need, letting go of tightness, tension, or strain, and also releasing any limiting beliefs that you have about yourself. And as you inhale, collecting in all of those old ideas about how you are not worthy of love, how you may not feel valuable, and just releasing those out on the exhale. And as you connect in with those parts of the self that perhaps you find difficult to love, just beginning to feel where those start to show up in the body. If you find yourself immediately clenching or holding, just gently sending the breath into those spaces and places. Rather than pushing or shoving those parts out, gently holding them, collecting them, bringing them closer to yourself, and just loving the parts that don't believe that they are worthy of being loved. And as you just start to move breath and energy to those spaces and places, beginning to feel how the entire body opens up. Maybe bringing the shoulders down away from the ears, gently bringing the shoulder blades together on the back and opening up the heart, just opening up the chest a bit and letting the heart begin to open. Perhaps clenching the hands and releasing them a couple times. Doing the same with the toes and the feet, clenching and releasing. And taking one deep, big belly breath, inhale into the low body, as big as you can possibly get, holding it at the top. So there's just a little tension there. And then exhaling it, perhaps audibly, letting it go. Returning to a natural breath and breathing. And feeling yourself opening up to possibility. Opening up to a feeling of what it would be like to fully and completely love and accept yourself. And as you begin to feel into this idea, starting to envision yourself inside of a calm, relaxing room. Somewhere perhaps that has windows, maybe candles. Perhaps you can smell a nice fragrance on the air. And as you look around this room, just making it your own, doing a little redecorating if you'd like, and beginning to see a beautiful full-length mirror in front of you. Standing in front of it, just watching it begin to visualize and appear. Noticing beautiful silver ornate designs and decorations all around this mirror. And seeing how big this mirror is. It's maybe 2 or 3 times the size of your physical body. And you can stand comfortably in front of it with yourself in the center. And now just beginning to envision and allowing to appear in front of you in that reflection a version of yourself that is a composite of all the things that are hard for you to love about yourself. So physically, you might see yourself looking a little distorted or different than you might look to others in the world. You might even see that parts of your physical body that you have trouble loving are even exaggerated or larger than life in this reflection. Noticing your body language, noticing how your face appears, and noticing how you look emotionally as you reflect back at yourself. How does this version of you show up? What does he or she do? What are the kinds of words or thoughts or actions that this version of yourself has or does? Watching those just play out in the mirror, in your reflection, and an observer's point of view. And perhaps it might be helpful too to think of situations in your life where you have a really hard time loving or accepting yourself, or situations in your life where you feel that others are deeply judging you, or perhaps even disliking or hating you. And just beginning to let yourself morph into a version of yourself that embodies all of these qualities and these feelings. You may even notice that the age of yourself changes. It's possible you might get smaller or younger, or perhaps even get older than you are in this current reality. Spending just a few more moments allowing yourself to crystallize, seeing this complete composite of the self. And then as you look in the mirror, just gently starting to ask this version of yourself how he or she feels right now. What thoughts or ideas he or she might want to share with you. And see if you can listen to what this composite version of yourself has to say. Allowing yourself to stay open in the body, maybe re-engaging the opening of the chest if parts of your physical body right now have closed in or caved in, opening up and simply listening. And as this mirror version of yourself completes and finishes, from your own heart, beginning to beam a green or pink loving energy into the mirror, surrounding that composite self with this loving energy, and saying anything you might need to say to this version of yourself. What could your response be to this version of yourself? Is there a way that you can find loving, accepting words for the self? And perhaps as you beam this loving energy, as you say these words to yourself, you may even begin to notice this mirror version of the self shifting and changing, becoming different, perhaps softer, perhaps more open, perhaps happier, or perhaps it stays exactly the same. Allowing simply for this moment to be about loving all of the parts that you believe or feel are unlovable. And as you allow that energy to circulate and wrap around the mirror, beginning to open your arms wide, the version of yourself standing in front of the mirror, and just dipping your fingers into the left and the right sides of the mirror, noticing how your hands can actually go into the mirror. Wrapping your arms around this composite self and then bringing it into you, pulling him or her from the mirror into yourself, until you can feel that version of yourself pressed tight up against you in a beautiful, loving, warm embrace. And in this place of love, beaming that heart energy all throughout and all around, and eventually allowing this composite self to merge into you, accepting this version of the self, bringing it into you, allowing yourself to fully integrate and accept this version of yourself without needing to change it, without needing him or her to be different. Fully and completely loving and accepting the self exactly as you are. The bright, beautiful, wonderful aspects of yourself, along with the shadow. Breathing that all throughout, staying with this as long as you'd like.